Here we are, another January. Hello, everybody. This is time for another Patreon question and answer video. Hair is wonderfully poofy, delightful. I got some Q's, you want some A's. Let's get to it. First one. Where do you go to watch the sun set? A lot of places, actually. There is a beautiful expanse on the High Line, which is an elevated platform along about 14 blocks of the middle of New York City. You can really get a good view of the sunset from there. Another good place to see the sunset is any place really in between sort of the cross pattern of New York City. It just looks beautiful when you sort of watch it in between the skyscrapers and the larger buildings. Also, seeing it from the forest to the Inwood Forest is a lovely treat as well. Another one of my favorites as well as Columbus Circle, because Columbus Circle is sort of the hive of right before Central Park, right where all the roundabout is, and you can see all the elements coming into place. And when sunset peaks down, it just has a rippling effect on everybody else, and you just know something is changing slowly. What is your take on clowns? Having been a clown myself and having performed in several out-of-the-way places in clowneries, elementary schools, working with special needs kids as a clown, doing work in juvenile halls in South Central as a clown, I can tell you very much about clown work, and that my take on clowns is that clowns are essential and vital. They can be a very freeing experience for children and for adults, and immensely therapeutic and cathartic for an artist who becomes a clown. However, and this is why a lot of people are scared of clowns, like my friend Kuberth, the act of being a clown is almost like the act of being drunk. It is essentially permission to be your most unguarded self. The mask is on, the paint is on, whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be a mask or paint. It's simply just license to be this unchecked id. Gives you that permission where nothing else in society normally does. And because of that, the clown you become is at the heart of it your most authentic, untapped self. And sometimes that's not pretty. And sometimes that can be very destructive and abusive and selfish. And there are a lot of mean clowns out there as a result. And that's why I think a lot of children and adults can be scared by them, because one, they can be overtly intense and aggressive and friendly, and the friendliness, it implies a mania that can be disconcerting to quite a few people. Two, we know that they're given that permission to be outside of society, and we're more than a little jealous of that. And so that makes us nervous and anxious too. What's next artistic-wise? Well, this year is really about combining business with artistic stuff. Joining professional societies like the Dramatist Guild of America, Off-Broadway Alliance. Going to more casting directing seminars, meeting more people in New York City in film, TV. And the goal would be to get a feature film TV audition this year. I'm freelancing with an agent right now, and I'd like to really improve the chances of that happening. Now, the big one. What is your opinion on the Oscar nominations for 2015? Everybody's got their opinions on it. There has been quite a spectacle about it. Every single, major performing arts award has been given to white actors. The Academy right now is currently, in a position where its administration is diverse. and they are aware of the glaring discrepancy between the amount of actors and technicians and writers and producers who are diverse versus what actually get nominated. And they know that it's a systemic approach. It's so hard, wholeheartedly. You can't just fix one aspect of it, i.e., the voting nomination process, and expect it all to change overnight. But they know they have to start somewhere, because it's clearly it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous because we know we say the words Oscar bait, and we know exactly what that means now. Anybody who saw 5 minutes of The Danish Girl knows what Oscar bait looks like. That was more Del Sarte work than it was actually acting. Your standard biopic, Eddie Redmayne doing a lot of external stuff that wasn't really true to an emotional core. Which, he's a heterosexual guy. He's not going to be able. He's not somebody who could really get into the inner worst depths of being a transgender woman. And I don't think there really was an effort made to that. I think it was really just like any other Oscar movie. There's a gloss on the superficial. So the Academy's taking some steps, and they're making steps in the sense to limit the amount of time that members serve if they are not active in the profession, in their specific discipline when they were first hired. And this is causing some performers to write really bucolic op-eds saying that it is a ageist and racist towards white people policy. And to this I say, look, this is not like voting as an American citizen. Voting on the Academy, almost like politics, should be a short-term thing. You should not be in it for life. Because who you are at 35 or 45 or 25 as an artist is not the world when you're 65 or 85. You're not going to be able to see the upcoming expression and attitudes and abilities of artists, and you're going to vote for your friends. You're going to see the work of your friends for the most part. I mean, let's be honest. How many actors out there watched half of your SAG screeners? How many actors out there can tell me the names of 3 films with African American actors, starring the African American actors, that are not about race, that should have been nominated for an Academy Award? I can think of 3. And then there weren't. We don't do the work right now. We don't do the work. I think that a good goal for the Academy would be to make short-term limits on voting. Make it 10 years or less. Make sure that a voting population is chosen from a diverse pool of people. And that's just a start. Because you can make that all as diverse as you want to, but even then, after that, you've still got to push through studios and casting directors and all the other gatekeepers who, are going to say, you know what, let's stick with the status quo. Why can't we make the shopkeeper a dude? We've always had shopkeepers as dudes. And since it's a dude, let's make him a white dude, because that's what we always think about. And to break that level of thinking, and to get more biracial people like me out there, and more just general diverse mixes of people. I mean, I can tell you, as an actor of diversity, that I never looked at the film or the TV and went, wow, this person is my totem. This person is an example of the actor I want to be. I never had that opportunity. And a lot of kids don't. A lot of kids don't get that right now. And they're slowly getting a chance to have that in small, small ways. And I think we're doing some positive steps towards that. But I think the only way we can really make some inroads into that is by showing both studios and production companies and casting directors that we are hungry to have films that represent a wider spectrum of the world. And that we're just tired of the same old, half-hearted depiction of the human experience. It makes us try. We try with less energy as a result. Our stories are less authentic. It creates a New York where it's just devoid of any other ethnicity. It creates a sense of relationship experiences that feel inauthentic and completely disassociated from reality. And that's not the point of entertainment. It's not supposed to be mere escapism. The point of the entertainment, the work we do, is supposed to be a challenge, be an inspiration, be akin to the very lives that we lead. And I hope we get there. I really do. But I think it's going to be some resistance. And we're going to have people who are going to think, oh, this isn't a problem. Or conversely, oh, award shows are just junk anyway, and this doesn't matter. And I think award shows do matter. Because they are, in their own way, an approval of the status quo. And the only way we can make diversity the status quo is to make diverse artists more accepted and nominated in award shows. Not by tokenism, but by the fact that there actually are good roles written and available for those artists. And they're out there. I know all kinds of wonderful writers who have written wonderful scripts and producers and directors. It's just a matter of people actioning them and moving them forward. And that's my soapbox. And I think it's a very difficult topic. And I know it's one that people are going to be having for decades. And I hope we get better with it as a result. I hope that we continue to test ourselves and not be complacent with it. I hope that we, when it comes to casting roles, cast with a sense of love and a sense of possibility, and not with a sense of shock value. But if you want to actually depict a story in an honest way, use somebody who's a good actor. And use someone who's a good actor who, in a sense, can show a world and bring an experience that you may not have seen on stage or screen or on TV before. And let that surprise you. Here's my question for you. You're given a power to travel back in time and give yourself, your younger self, a message. This message can only be, however, 5 words or less. Which 5 words or less do you send yourself from the past to the past from your future, and why? All right, guys. Love you.